You've been doing 16 to 8 for months, religiously, skipping breakfast, closing your eating window right on schedule, feeling proud every time the app shows a green check mark. And you still don't look or feel any different than before you started. Here's why. The fasting window everyone recommends was never actually long enough to trigger the anti-aging mechanisms it gets credited for. You haven't been biohacking, you've been mildly cutting calories and calling it science. Today, the 3 actual rules that matter, and the one most fasting content never mentions at all. Here's the word every fasting video throws around like it's settled science. Autophagy. Your body's cellular cleanup process, supposedly switched on the moment you hit 16 hours without food. Except here's what the actual research says, and it's not what the influencers are telling you. The evidence for a specific autophagy timeline comes almost entirely from animal studies, where the process appears to begin somewhere between 24 and 48 hours. In humans specifically, there isn't enough direct research yet to confirm exactly when it kicks in. 16 hours might do something. It has never been confirmed to do the thing everyone's claiming. That doesn't mean fasting is fake. It means most people are fasting for the wrong duration, breaking their fast the wrong way and following advice that was never designed for their specific body. 3 rules fix all 3 of those problems. Rule 1. If you're chasing a hormonal reset, 16 hours isn't the number. 24 is where the real research starts. In one well-known clinical study, a full 24 hours without food raised growth hormone by an average of 1,300% in women and nearly 2,000% in men. That's not a typo. Growth hormone protects lean muscle and helps mobilize stored fat for energy, which is exactly the combination most people are trying to get from supplements that don't work nearly this well. Here's the honest caveat nobody adds to that stat. This response gets weaker with age. In men over 60, that same 24-hour fast produced roughly a 400% increase. Still real, still meaningful, just not the same magnitude as a 25-year-old gets. And the timing matters too. This isn't an instant switch. Research shows the growth hormone response keeps climbing through the first 2 days of fasting, peaking somewhere around the 36 to 48-hour mark, then leveling off. The fix: stop treating every single day like it needs a 16-hour fast. Instead, build in an occasional full 24-hour fast, done safely, well-hydrated, and with medical clearance if you have any underlying condition, because that's the duration where the actual hormonal shift research keeps measuring actually happens. Depth beats daily frequency here. Rule 2, and this is the one that quietly wastes everyone's effort. You do the hard part. You make it to hour 20, 24, whatever your number is, and then you break your fast with a protein shake or a big plate of eggs because that's what every fitness account tells you to do. Here's the problem. Researchers studying this exact question found that the cellular cleanup process your fast just triggered can start reversing within about 60 minutes of eating protein. You spent a full day building toward that state, and one fast-acting refeed can start unwinding it almost immediately. This doesn't mean protein is bad. Your muscles absolutely need it. It means the sequence matters. Slamming a big protein hit the second you break a long fast isn't optimizing recovery. It's closing the exact biological window you just spent hours opening. The fix: if the goal of a specific fast is the cellular cleanup benefit, give your body a little runway before the protein hits. Start with something lighter and let the effect actually register before you flip the switch back to growth mode. You're not being told to skip protein. You're being told the order you eat it in isn't neutral. Rule 3, and this is the one almost nobody says out loud. Most popular fasting advice was built on research dominated by male subjects, then handed to everyone as if bodies respond identically. They don't. Clinical guidance is now explicit about this. Aggressive fasting windows can meaningfully affect estrogen and progesterone in premenopausal women, and the same protocol that works cleanly for a man can backfire as fatigue, mood changes, or a disrupted cycle in a woman who's still cycling. Here's the twist inside the twist. Postmenopausal women tell a completely different story. An 8-week controlled study following postmenopausal women on aggressive time-restricted eating found no disruption to their core reproductive hormone carrier levels at all. One secondary hormone dropped slightly but stayed within a completely normal range. So fasting is risky for women isn't actually true. It's true for a specific hormonal stage of life and false for another, and almost no fasting content bothers to make that distinction. The fix: if you're a premenopausal woman, this isn't about avoiding fasting, It's about working with shorter windows during certain points in your cycle, rather than forcing the same aggressive schedule every single day. If you're a man or a postmenopausal woman, the research gives you more room to use a more standardized approach. Same tool, different settings, depending on who's actually using it. Here's what ties all three of these together. Almost every fasting app, every influencer, every 16 to 8 versus 18 to 6 debate online is arguing about the variable that barely matters, the exact eating window. Meanwhile, the three things the actual research keeps pointing to: fast duration crossing the 24-hour mark, how you break the fast, and whether your body is male, premenopausal, or postmenopausal, get almost no attention at all. You've been optimizing the wrong dial this whole time. So if you've been fasting for months and wondering why nothing changed, you weren't doing it wrong exactly. You were measuring the wrong thing. Fix these three and the fast you're already doing starts actually doing what you thought it was doing all along. But how do you actually know if a fast worked instead of just guessing based on how you feel? That's exactly what I'm covering next. The specific markers that show whether your fast did anything at all.